Chelsea lost 3-1 to Flamingo. Let us do critical analysis of all the whole performance of the team. I will talk more on this game about Enzo Maresca. I will talk about the formation. I will talk about Nicolas Jackson. I will talk about what I felt, about this game and what I observed. First of all, we need to give credit to Flamingo. Flamingo defeated Chelsea. Flamingo have lost only 2 games in 33 games, and they've defeated Chelsea. Look at the way Felipe Luis, a former player that just retired, which year? This guy also played for Chelsea, was able to use, Flamingo to flog Chelsea, suffocated Chelsea. They played very well. They were all out to defeat Chelsea. In this competition, I must be honest with you, we must give South American teams the credit. European teams are looking overrated because they cannot live up with the expectation. They cannot live up with the tempo. They cannot live up with the pressure of the South American teams. Their intensity is off the hook. Their aggression, the way they press, the way they constantly, provide threat against the opponent. It needs to be studied. European teams are losing left, right, and center against South American teams. But then, let's go into the details of this game on Chelsea side. First of all, we need to point the light on Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca, for this starting 11 was nowhere good enough for Chelsea. Look at the starting 11. Marco Corella, Cowell, Chalobah, Gusto, James in front of Gusto, and then Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Copama, Delap, and Neto. In a game, you need energy. You are playing Copama as a winger. I know, because when the game started, what Chelsea tried to do is that, okay, James will come in the middle, then Malo Gusto will provide width for, Copama, so that Copama can be a little bit in the pocket. But you can see Malo Gusto is not even a good player. You want to use him the way, PSG are using Hakimi. Malo Gusto could not do that job. He's not decisive. He cannot carry the ball and run. He cannot cross the ball. He cannot score. He cannot find a good pass. Malo Gusto that I watched at the Conference League final, he was a disaster. In this game, he was a disaster again. Reece James in the middle was constantly losing the ball. I don't even understand why is it that Enzo Maresca did not play, Santos. Santos is among the top 5 best midfielders in France. And in 2 games, Santos have not played even a single minute. What is Enzo Maresca thinking? Why did Enzo Maresca not play Noni Madueke? What is even me that is watching the game? I look at the lineup, it was shambolic. The only player that was left to suffer so much in this game was Caicedo. Caicedo was fighting in the middle. Caicedo was doing everything. Caicedo was struggling. And then the lap was off front. He could not really affect the game properly because there was no support. There was no support. He could have scored maybe 1 or 2 touches he had in the 18-yard box, because if you look at the big chances created, Chelsea had 4 big chances. Flamingo had 4 big chances. But for Chelsea and Flamingo to be playing as if they are on the same level, the amount of Chelsea players, if you bring the total amount, their wages and their transfer fees, is not even up the whole amount one player can buy the whole team in Flamingo. One Chelsea player, Enzo Fernandez, transfer fee can buy the whole players in Flamingo. And this is the way they performed. The performance was shambolic. Chalobah was not anywhere. For me, if you ask me, Enzo Maresca deserves some blame. The formation was so bad. Why didn't you play, what happened to Santos? Kenan Rizruel, what happened to him? Lavia. Okay, let's say you're resting Lavia. What about Esugo? Is he not ready? He didn't play a minute in this game. And then if you go down into the list of players that played very well, first of all, I will tell you, Cowell played very, very well in this game. Cowell, Pedro Neto was trying to run the channel, and Caicedo. These are only players. Probably Sanchez for making 1 or 2 saves, but I also blame Sanchez because when the game started, Sanchez was giving the ball away. In 3 minutes, Sanchez have given two or three wrong passes. It was so lackluster, but ordinarily, he made 1 or 2 saves, in the game. But these 3 players are only the players that played very well. Copama ghosted, could not affect the game, constantly losing the ball. Enzo Fernandez, constantly losing the ball. Marco Corella, that we know about using energy, pressure, intensity, everything, constantly also being loose in this game. Chalobah, constantly nowhere to be found. Reece James in the middle, throwing the ball away every minute. And that is why I said Enzo Maresca deserves some blame. Because sometimes, I don't think, if I look at Enzo Maresca, I don't think he's taking this competition serious. He's seeing this competition as a preseason. This is not a preseason. Chelsea owners, Chelsea need to generate money, try to win this competition. Remember, Chelsea are lucky to be in this competition because Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021. You don't understand? Chelsea need to go far. That money needs to come into the club and they will use it to sign players. This is to show that If we are being honest, Chelsea still have a long way to go. All the fans that we are thinking, okay, with this young player, Chelsea will go places. I am one of the guys that support the young players, but on a day like this, I don't see the plan. I don't see the intensity. I don't see the game plan. I don't see the tactics. I don't see the changes. Me that was watching this game, I was clamoring, remove Rhys James, getting somebody to control the football, control the middle. Chelsea were losing a lot of duels in the middle. Chelsea could not be able to hold the ball down. They could not be able to make 1 or 2 or 3, 4 passes. I was shouting, remove Rhys James. Even the goal Chelsea scored, Pedro Neto. Chelsea was lucky. Pedro Neto scored a very good goal. But then, you needed to protect this lead. You left the lead till the lead, slipped away. You now try to bring in, the players. And that is where I am thinking. Cole Palmer, we need to talk about him. Cole Palmer, you're a superstar. You have taken your game to the next level. You should know that you expected to do magic. In game of this magnitude, you need to show yourself. This is where superstars stretch away from normal players. You need to show yourself. In this game, you flopped. And then we need to talk about, Enzo Fernandez. I was thinking you should know the intensity of South American teams because you're coming from Argentina. You failed also. Could not have a grip of the ball. Does it mean that if you guys move from South America to England, you become lazy? The only player that was showing aggression, intensity of playing in South America is Caicedo. And then we need to go straight to Jackson. You see, Jackson is making it difficult for people to even back him at Chelsea. Jackson nearly cost Chelsea the top 4 last season. I remember when Jackson was red carded against Newcastle. Chelsea could have lost the top 4 if not the other players came to pass it. Pedro Neto, they decided to fight, Cucurella. After that red card, Enzo Maresca said at the end of the season, they need to sit down with Jackson. They need to be able to talk to him. They need to show him 1 or 2 things. But Jackson's, attitude have not changed. Jackson is so reckless and careless with on and off the ball. Very, very careless. Most of the time, I don't think he understands what is at stake. You came into this game, your first touch was a red card. First touch, red card. A game that you were substituted to come and rescue. And you know the funny thing? If you think that Jackson is getting a red card, Jackson is a striker. This kind of or level of red cards he's getting is red cards that are being given to maybe midfielders or defenders for fouling the opponent. You are supposed to be receiving foul as a striker. You are the one that is committing criminal offenses on the pitch. And if you look at it, I'll be wondering, is that how Chelsea want to go into next season? Is this Jackson? You don't understand. His disciplinary issues are not going away anytime soon. They're not going away anytime soon. He needs to be reprimanded and fined heavily. But even at that, I don't think Jackson, the weight of playing for Chelsea, I think is weighing Jackson down. He cannot be able to live to that expectation. That is why whenever he score 1 small goal, he'll be telling John Mikel Obi, keep quiet. If you're doing the talking on the pitch, you don't even need to fight anything. Your talking on the pitch will fight for you. Just like when people, fight with the hazard robber, you don't need much. There is goal you score, people will come to party. But you're constantly validating yourself, which is to show that you have something you're fighting with. You know that you're not living up to the expectation. This is going to be your 3rd season at Chelsea, Jackson. And in your 3rd season, you're meant to take your game to the next level. In this 3rd season, you have started committing red card. Remember, you will miss the first game of the Premier League this season. Chelsea should not even think that Jackson cannot be sold. I don't even understand why they gave him 9 years contract. I think this 9 years contract is actually making him to be relaxed and lackluster. And that is the reality. So generally, if you ask me, Flamingo deserves to win this game. Felipe Luis cooked Enzo Maresca. South American team cooking European team again. Last night, Botafogo defeated Paris Saint-Germain. You can see what they are doing. You can see Palmeiras, the way they are playing. So for me, Enzo Maresca needs to look at himself on the mirror and see what he did wrong in this game. The players need to look at themselves in the mirror and see that they didn't represent Chelsea. They might think, oh, this is a preseason. Let them know that millions of Chelsea fans are investing their emotions, watching them. They needed to give a good account of themselves. Anytime they wear that shirt, even if it is preseason or friendly match, you are expected to win. That is the standard of Chelsea. Very, very bad. But then, this is the way it is. Lackluster performance. Chelsea need to win their last game to stand their chance. If they don't win their last game and Enzo Maresca make all this kind of useless rotation again, Chelsea will be going home. And that is the end of the road for Chelsea. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Drop me your opinion. Who do you have to blame? Is it Enzo Maresca? Is he not bringing Madueke in the game? Is it not about Tyreek George? Is it Jackson? Is it the midfield? What do you think is the issue in this game? Write me your opinion. I will be reading them. Thank you.